So people are often their own worst enemy when it comes to what to pack for their holidays
They
or their
are.
vacation. Yes. So we today are looking at packing tips this week on Dream, Travel, Share, Unpacked.
If you'd like to receive an email version of today's show, along with our weekly travel opportunities, click on the link below to join our mailing list. We promise to only send you one email a week every Friday. You can unsubscribe at any time, and we won't share your email address with anyone else.
Okay. So Bob, you do a lot of travel. What are your packing tips?
Yeah, well, pack light is the best one. The amount of luggage that people bring on vacation sometimes it's like a Frigidaire freezer box with a handle, strapped to it. It's way over the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I've learned to pack quite minimally, and so my rule when we go away, my rule is if I'm going, and normally we are going for more than a week, but I bring a week's worth of clothes and plan on doing laundry. So quite often we are on cruise ships, as you can well imagine, and all the just about all the cruise ships anyway have self-serve laundry facilities. If you'd rather send it out, any hotel or any cruise ship for that matter will launder your stuff by the piece.
Yeah.
And worst comes to worst, I'm prepared to do laundry in my sink at night and hang it up to dry overnight.
And I think both you and Sue buy items or bring items of clothing that with that in mind, quick drying.
Yeah.
I say that because I went to the Mekong with Sue, and of course, it was so hot there that you could not wear anything twice. So I really appreciated the fabrics that she chose for that particular kind of temperature.
Yeah.
Very
And
smart.
I don't think you have to go out and replace your whole wardrobe. But what I think you need to do is that, cotton, which I wear lots of at home, but it's the worst thing to pack. Jeans are terrible for traveling. So
Yeah.
synthetic fabrics that don't hold water will dry quickly. Pick ones that are comfortable.
Yeah.
They usually pack into smaller, like blue jeans, for example, just again are horrible for traveling. They take up an awful lot of space. They're heavy. If
Hmm.
they get wet, they're wet for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, technical fabrics, anything synthetic is usually better than natural fabrics that we would probably gravitate more towards when we're at home.
Um, so give us a list of what you always pack.
Yeah. So, and I think these are pretty standard things. There's nothing revolutionary here, but first of all, great shoes. So, we always end up walking a lot on vacation. So, you need a good pair of walking shoes. And
Hmm.
the ones I travel with are waterproof. Uh, Even if I'm going in the summer, you never know we're going to get caught in a flash rainstorm, but I have Gore-Tex running shoes that I travel with. I don't wear them a lot at home, honestly. I have a different pair of shoes or running shoes I would wear at home, sneakers. But yeah, Gore-Tex runners for when I'm away are pretty important. I also, speaking of rain, I throw in a pair of rain pants. They fold into nothing. I got some that are quite compact and a raincoat just because once it starts raining, even if you're in a tropical place, we were in Tahiti last year. It rained for only about an hour. I was really glad I had rain gear.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, weren't we kayaking in Bayou last fall, and
Yes.
your rain gear came in hugely helpful for that specific sport.
Yeah.
You were the only one that kept dry.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just much more comfortable when you're dry. So for me, rain gear always goes in my bag. As I was mentioning earlier, I pack 7 changes of clothes. So undergarments, socks, you name it. I've got 7 and then what I'm wearing, and then I plan on doing laundry once a week. So um, I typically only take one pair of shoes. So again, if you're going on a river cruise or an ocean cruise and you want to dress up a little bit at night, I only take one pair of shoes I have one pair of shoes in the day, one pair at night, right? So Gore-Tex runners for the day, pair of black
One
dress
pair
shoes
at
for the
night.
night because they kind of go with everything. If I want to, if I want to play dress up and all that other stuff, that's something I do at home. I'm not dragging clothes around the world to do so. And then
Mm,
I usually run on a 1 week cruise. I would probably take 4 shirts with me, which means like overshirts like this one, which means, yeah, I'd wear each one twice. Nobody knows. You're the only one that knows you're wearing the same clothes more than once. Nobody's paying attention to this.
So I kind of think I wonder what the ladies are thinking of listening to what you pack, because they're probably going, oh, there's no way I would wear 4 of the same dresses. But what I've learned to do is layer.
Yeah.
So it went on a summer cruise, and I have a black dress, and I had three different throws that I put over the black dress, and it looked like I had a different outfit every time. I, like you, I'm really proud of myself. I have a pair of sneakers. I usually bring a little pair of flip flops and then a good pair of walking shoes. That's what I try to get away with. So, with us, our ladies, we can accessorize outfits to make them look like they're different. And I think if we say that, our female audience won't feel so bad that they have to only bring four outfits.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm glad you brought that up because you would certainly know better than me.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I in some ways it's almost easier for women for the reasons that you mentioned is that
Yeah.
you can accessorize, you can mix match, you got a whole new outfit.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't change that shirt up very much.
Right.
Awesome. So I try to a 2 week trip. I try to do a carry on and a small backpack. And the
Yep.
backpack is multi-purpose, so that if we go out walking for a day, I can have my bottled waters and that kind of stuff. I usually am successful because I've had a lot of practice at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be done. It can be
It
done for
it
sure.
can be. And I toggle back and forth on this one. I think it depends how long we're going, where we're going. Certainly for winter trips to Europe, and we've been doing more and more of those lately. So I will wear my heavy clothes on the plane. And
Mhm.
whether I'm able to go carry on or not, it depends on a lot of things. It sounds ridiculous, but it depends on what airline I'm flying and what class of service I am, right? If I'm sitting near the pointy end of the plane, then I've got lots of space.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting near the back of the plane, not so much, and I might check luggage.
Yeah.
But it is possible. Sue and I have done 2 weeks in Europe, both of us with carry-on luggage. It's doable.
So often I get questions that, oh, what about we're going to have to dress up on the cruise? What about formal nights? What would be your answer to that?
That's happening less and less and less. So on so most of our clients, they're small ship cruisers or river cruisers. So where you end up playing dress up more is on the big mass market cruise lines. They still like to do formal nights. The
Yeah.
small ship cruise lines, it just doesn't happen as much. Oddly enough, the more you're willing to pay, the less willing you are to play dress up for the most part.
Yeah.
Now, some people still like to do it. Silver Sea, for example, if you go on Silver Sea, you will see people wearing tuxedos and ball gowns on that cruise line, but not every night and not everybody. So you can go on a Silver Sea cruise, for example, and not have to do that. Now, you can't show up in the dining room in a pair of shorts and a sleeveless muscle shirt either, right? Um, but there's stuff in between that will work for everyone. And so if you don't, I mean, for me, I don't mind wearing a blazer or a suit coat. I quite often wear them on the plane because they got lots of pockets, which is kind of nice. But I'm not wearing a tie unless I'm going to a funeral, and I'm not prepared to drag, dress shoes across the world. So
Yeah.
if I end up on one of those ones that has an actual formal night, which is exceedingly rare again, then that's the night that I have room service or order a buffet or eat at the buffet.
There, there you go. Yeah. Perfect. Can you tell me, do you know anything about luggage shipping services?
I do, and I've actually used them. And so it's
Ooh.
exactly what it sounds like. This is when you ship your bags to the ship or to your hotel, wherever you're going, prior to you going there, so that when you're traveling, you're only managing carry-on. So it's actually reasonably cost effective. So when we've done it before, we have done it because the example I'll use is Sue and I were going to Morocco. This is a couple of years ago, which was very much a backpacking trip. So it was outside. It was a backpacking trip. It was not a one where you would have a lot of dress clothes. And then we went from there to Barcelona and into Italy, where we joined Uniworld for a river cruise in northern Italy. And these are just two completely different sets of luggage that you need for this. So we shipped our luggage directly to the ship. So
Ah,
the upside is you don't have to deal with, in this case, we had to have two bags. You don't have to deal with all of that, and it just shows up in your room, which is fantastic. The challenge is that you have to have that stuff ready to go. It takes 2 to 3 weeks, so you have to ship it from home 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Um, And there's services that will do this for you. So you are technically importing something to a foreign country. So there's some forms to be filled out, which is why you would hire a service to do this for you.
Okay. Okay.
Ask
And
me
there's
how
a
much.
few different companies that do this.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So there's several. Again, get in touch with us. We're happy to chat through with you which ones we've used and what we've thought of them. And
Okay.
again, I think it depends on the size bag you have and everything else. But when we shipped one again from here, from the United States to Italy, and this was again 2 years ago, and it was a great, like the biggest size suitcase because Sue and I put both our things in there, so we're just shipping the one bag. Um, that the airlines would allow. So a big suitcase,
Yeah.
and it was $250. So
It's
not
not
outrageous.
bad because, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
when
sure.
when you consider that a lot of the airlines are going to charge you now, it's like 75 or $100 to check a bag anyway,
Yeah.
um, depending
Yeah.
on who you're flying in with and what the circumstances are. But yeah, you need to if you're spending 10 or 20 or 30,000 bucks on a vacation, then $250 to have your bag show up in your room might be worth thinking about.
So, Bob, what are we going to talk about on Dream Travel Share Unpack next week?
Next week, we're going to get into, well, for lack of a better word, it's expedition cruising. We're going to be talking about HX
Ooh.
next week. These guys they've been in Antarctica for the last 100 years, but they also go to the Galapagos Islands, Alaska, Greenland, Northwest Passage, a number of other places. So we'll get into what expedition cruising actually means, because as soon as a lot of people hear the word expedition, they think, oh, that's not for me. That's probably for
Yeah.
you more than you think it is. So we'll be talking about that next week.
Perfect. Look forward to it.
All right, we'll see you then.
Okay. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video blog, it really helps us when you like, or better yet, subscribe to our channel so that we know the best content to produce for you. If you want to book a cruise or packaged land vacation, then we'd love to help you out. We know the products and destinations very well, and we can always get you something not available on direct bookings. Our coordinates are in the notes below. Also, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, you get one email a week every Friday with some commentary and some different deals that we're seeing in the marketplace. We don't share your information with anyone else, and if you decide it's not for you, then we're sorry to see you go, but there's an unsubscribe button at the bottom of every email. See you next time.